Today we're going to look at these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures from the movie Mutagen Mayhem. Now, admittedly, I'm a little bit late to the party when it comes to reviewing these figures, and that is for one reason and one reason only. I absolutely hated this movie. I didn't like it at all. I did like the design of the turtles. I liked the animation style. It reminded me of the Spider-Verse. But I wasn't a great big fan of the film overall. I think maybe I should revisit it. Maybe purchase it and revisit it, watch it again. But I don't think it's going to win me over. I just did not like this film one little bit. But like I said, the one thing I did like was the design of the Ninja Turtles. I thought they looked very unique and quirky. Nothing like we have ever had before. But I didn't want to spend £40 on figures from a movie that I didn't enjoy. I thought I'd wait until the right moment, until they were cheap enough, and eventually that moment came. I picked all four up for £13. Now, that deal is now gone from the store I bought them from, so there's no point mentioning where I got them. But I have seen in certain stores that they are actually being reduced. Not in every store, but in some stores they're being reduced in price. So you probably could pick all four of these up for a bargain price, and if you want to get some of the others as well, you know, you could probably do that. But for me, I'm not really interested in any of the other characters. I just want the four Ninja Turtles to go with my other Ninja Turtles in my collections. So let's open them up and see if they're any good. Okay, so before we open them, I just want to say the packaging is beautiful. Regardless of whether I like the film or not, the packaging and the characters on the front of the cases are really nice. It kind of makes me want to leave them in the boxes, but that's something I don't do. I crack all my figures open more or less. But yeah, the packaging is beautiful, and it's very reminiscent of the 1987 release from Playmates with the brick wall at the back here as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is intentional. Okay, so let's crack them open. Okay, so the first Ninja Turtle we're going to take a look at is Raphael, my favourite Ninja Turtle from when I was a kid, and possibly still my favourite Ninja Turtle now, although I do kind of appreciate all of them now. But as a kid, it was just Raphael. That was the only turtle I was interested in. Even though I had all the others as well, obviously, Raphael was my favourite. What I love about this figure is it's quite accurate to the actual movie. And it's a child's toy, essentially. It's the kind of figure you can buy in any supermarket, any toy shop, to pick up for your children who love the film. Now, what I love about this though is it's quite accurate to the movie, which is something you don't normally see in the £10 price points figurines. The 1987 figures look nothing like the Turtles from the cartoon. They were based more on the Mirage comics. You need to pay a little bit more money if you want them to look like if you want them to look screen accurate. You need to spend money like a NECA figure maybe, or a Revoltech figure. But these I'm quite impressed with, considering they retailed at around £10. Awesome detail. I'm really impressed with them, and they have got quite good paint jobs as well. The belt is really well painted, you know, for a £10 figure. It's got quite a lot of nice detail on the back here, on the shell. I like how the sides are nice and chunky, and you might argue that that is just because it's a cheap child's toy. Well, it's not. These sides were actually big and chunky in the actual movie, so they have tried the best to get them as screen accurate as possible, and I think they have pretty much achieved it. What I like about these as well is how quirky the design is. Like I said before, I'm not a massive fan of the film, but the quirkiness of these are really cool. Another thing we get in the box is this very cool weapon set where you can kind of snap all these weapons off the stand here, and that again is very reminiscent of the 1987 Playmates line. They were just fully brown, these are all painted silver, and I like that. I think that is a callback to the original toy line, but it's very cool. And the items that are on here are very well detailed. If you're quite handy with a paintbrush, you could probably get some really nice details into some of these weapons. They are actually quite cool. And you also get this miniature little turtle, which I presume is Raphael when he was a little baby turtle. Next up we have Leonardo, and I've got to say I really do like this. I just love the expression on his face. It's really well detailed, and the paintwork is sharp and clean, and that's what I like about these the most. And they look cartoony, just like the NECA figures made you feel like they were pulled directly from the cartoon by having the black lines drawn in around the shell and on the masks. These have kind of gone for the same thing. I really do like it, and I just think there is something really nice about the design. I know I keep saying it, but the design of these Ninja Turtles was something special. It's just a shame that the actual movie was not great. I think with a few tweaks here and there, it could have been, but for me, it just fell flat a little bit, which was a shame. On the back here, we've got these holders for his swords to go into. Same kind of design as Raphael on the shell. One thing I've noticed is that Raphael's shell is different to Leonardo, so these are completely different figures, each and every one. They've not just used the same mold for each turtle or the same turtle shell for each turtle. They're all completely different molds, and the shell on Raphael is considerably bigger than Leonardo, which I appreciate. That is a really nice touch. And just like with Raphael, we get the weapon set. And we also get the little baby Leonardo turtle. And it seems like all these little turtles what come in the box sets are all exactly the same. Now, even though I have complimented these figures on the paintwork, and the paintwork is very good, you've got quite a lot of nice detail on the belt, the way that they've painted in the face, around the eyes and the mouth is excellent, awesome. But obviously, it's a £10 figure and the paintwork isn't going to be extraordinary everywhere. Obviously, the armbands and the knee bands are lacking a little bit of detail, let's say that. But it can be expected because it's only a cheap figure. And also the weapons as well, they're not really well painted. There's just a splodge of brown here and silver, but that is a lot more than we get in some of the other figure lines out there. Okay, so the next Ninja Turtle is Donatello, and once again, I like these. I really do like them. But like I said before, it is lacking on paint in places. Even though the detail is very good for the price point, it is lacking in a little bit of detail, especially on the weapons as they're just moulded in one colour. Once again, not sure if that's a homage to the 1987 toy release. All the rest of his weapons that you get in the box are also painted this browny orangey colour. This bit fell off here, that's supposed to be attached to the side there. Very reminiscent of the 1987 cartoon, and I presume because they were going for the wood look, they just painted everything this colour. What you also get in the box is Donatello's pair of headphones that you can strap around his neck here, which I think is a very cool addition. Let's see if I can get that headband poking above them. Actual shell on the back is stopping the headphones from going all the way around his neck. Now, I don't know whether to try this or not. I'm going to try and pull his head off. There we go. Put the headbands around the neck peg, and then hopefully pop the head back on. There we go. In the process of doing that, I've knocked his glasses off his face. This is a trope they are using recently for Donatello. Especially in the Michael Bay movies, they had him wearing glasses. Not a massive fan of it myself, but you know, like I said, this is a quirky design, and I do quite like them on this. I think it makes the figure unique. And then let's put his bow staff back in his hand. There we go, and I think he looks quite cool with those headphones around his neck. Like I said, it makes him stand out from the other turtles. And also we have the little Ninja Turtle, baby Ninja Turtle Donatello. One thing I do like about this figure is the amount of accessories you get with it. You get the headphones, you get the glasses, you get this bum bag. That's what we call them in the UK. I think in the States, I think they're called fanny packs. I'm not 100% sure. But I think this is very cool, but it is just very plainly painted. Like I said before, I keep saying this, if you're very good with a paintbrush, you could probably get some really nice details into this. I might actually give it a go myself, just to make it pop a little more. And then, of course, as we turn him around, we see the design on his shell is very nice, and he's got a holder there for his weapon to go into. And here we have Michelangelo, and this is probably one of my favourite Ninja Turtles out of this movie. Design-wise, that is. I think he just looks really cool. I like how his head is bigger than his body. In the movie, I think the legs are a little bit thinner than what they are on here, but obviously they can't get everything right, but these are damn close to the actual film representation. One thing I will say about these figures is that they don't like to stand up. They're actually quite tricky to stand. But once you get them standing, hopefully, you see what I mean? They are quite tricky to stand up. They're a bit of a pain, to be honest. There we go, problem solved. Maybe you should just have your Ninja Turtles sitting down on your shelf. No, let's give it another go. Okay, so we've got him standing again. And one thing I will say about this Michelangelo is the weapons that he comes with. They look a little bit janky. They do not look as good as the other Ninja Turtles weapons. And that's not because of the design. That's because of the way they've moulded them. I suppose they were going for some kind of action mould, but it doesn't quite look right. I think they would have been much better if they were just on a piece of string or something like that. But I suppose if you were to put just one of the nunchucks in two hands, maybe that would look a little bit better, like he's actually, you know, like he's actually using them maybe. I mean, maybe you could pose them in some kind of action pose like this one here. These are an absolute pain to stand. That looks a little bit better, just having him holding one nunchuck, so it looks like he's actually jumping into action. Rather than holding two, one in each hand, doesn't quite look as good. It looks a little bit janky. I don't think it would look as good on your shelf. I think this is probably the right way to pose him, and you could always put the other nunchuck into his belt at the back here, like so. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And with this Michelangelo, you also get the weapon rack, once again, with some very cool items on there, which you could paint up yourself and make them look very cool. I quite like the look of this weapon. That would look cool in his hand. You also have the canister of ooze on here as well, which I didn't notice before. That would look very cool painted up. Very cool. And here we have the baby Michelangelo turtle. And before I said that these were all the same, I was kind of wrong. They are the same. They share the same mould, but they are differently coloured. They all represent the Ninja Turtle that they came with, and they all have the same colour of the Ninja Turtle they came with, which is very cool, and something I didn't notice straight away for some reason, but I noticed now. And there we have it, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutagen Mayhem Ninja Turtle figures. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the movie, but I do like the design of these Ninja Turtles. I think they are quirky, they're like nothing we've ever had before. It's new, it's fresh. I do like the designs. I was hoping for more from the film, and I was a little bit disappointed. But like I said, the design of these is pretty cool, and these figures are really worth a tenner each. But like I said, because I weren't a fan, I waited till I got them at the right price, and I think pretty soon you will be able to as well. They will be coming down. I guarantee it, in shops you'll be able to pick these up a little bit cheaper. I love the detail on these figures. The detail is outstanding. I think if you're handy with a paintbrush, like I said, you'll be able to touch up these weapons, make them look a little bit better. Maybe even touch up the Ninja Turtles and take away this kind of ugly fluorescent green colour to them, and maybe give them more of a matte look, maybe tone them down a little bit. But as they are, I think they're pretty cool. Like I said, if you're good with customization, you could maybe make them even cooler. I myself might have a little go. But yeah, I'm really impressed with these. Really impressed, and I highly recommend them. They are really cool figures. Go get them.